Hi folks, it's John from lastchanceautorestore.com. I'd like to share with you another update. This is the 1970 Volkswagen Single Cab pickup truck. In an earlier video we shared with you where we had the engine rebuilt. We've tweaked it in terms of power and performance and reliability, and we were waiting for what they refer to as the Highway Flyer transmission. So we received the High Flyer transmission. So it changes the gearing ratios in all four gears of the transmission. So the nickname Highway Flyer, just referring to a more comfortable ride on the highway and allowed to do higher revving or higher speeds for less revving. Because a comfortable speed for one of these single cab trucks when they're stocked, they're about 38 horsepower, I believe, from the factory. And roughly around 50 mile an hour or 80 kilometers an hour is roughly where the peak was, and it started to rev quite high and didn't seem to be that happy from that speed forward. The reason why I went with a Highway Flyer with this 70 single cab truck, our client wants to drive it and enjoy it and take it to some shows, and this engine has been tweaked quite a bit. So with the more power that we have with this engine, I'm going to guess we're in that 80 to 90 horsepower range. We don't have a dyno, but with all the changes we've made, I believe it's going to be in that 80 to 90 horsepower. So with that much power, it has the ability to drive much faster, more comfortably, but just to stay with highway speeds. So you could easily drive, 115, 120 for kilometers, or in that 60 to 70 miles an hour with the Highway Flyer transmission and the way the engine's been built. So since then, the transmission has arrived. We replaced a couple of the seals that you need to replace, and installed the transmission into the vehicle, and then we've rebuilt the axles and the CV. We replaced the CV joints and boots because they were worn, so they're both new. So everything driveline wise is all set up, and there's a bushing that we've changed in the back, and then we've set the engine in, and you can see now we just have it set in place. There's still quite a bit of work to do, but it's looking quite nice in my opinion, because now that it's set in with the dual carbs, so you've got twin carbs on both sides. What I like about this is there's still a lot of room in a single cab or even in a bus where you can make adjustments to the carburetors. There's still quite a bit of room in the engine bay. So now that we have that set up and the carbs kind of tuned in or hooked together, we've also installed this upgraded MP exhaust system. It's an aftermarket header tuned system, not crazy in terms of loudness or sound, but a little bit deeper throat sound, and it'll just, in my opinion, work much better with the electronic upgraded flamethrower distributor, and then more power that we have, so the exhaust will exit cleaner. So our next step is we have this, some people would say overkill, but what we want to do is we want to make sure that our oil distribution, our oil filtering system, and our cooling is looked after. So this is an aftermarket upgraded system where we have a heavy-duty distribution for the oil, and then we have an electric fan which is going to encourage keeping that engine oil cooler. And then we also have an auxiliary or external oil filter, and it's a complete system as part of a kit. So what we're doing now is we're fabricating custom brackets and hardware, so we're going to put this in a special location. So this is going to basically, instead of just having the sump on the bottom for the oil like a little screen, it's now going to have heavy-duty cooling, larger capacity oil, and then also an external oil filter. So instead of relying on just the screen in the bottom, we have this screw-on, screw-off oil filter. So we're doing this for longevity, but also to keep the engine happier. So if our client's going to drive longer distances or a lot of highway driving, we have a lot more cooling going on and a much happier engine with the oil being cooler and then filtered much cleaner than it came from the factory. So just a brief update, this is the 1970 Volkswagen Single Cab Truck. I thank you for watching. I'm John from lastchanceautorestore.com.